A truce between Ethiopia forces and the TPLF was signed almost 2 years ago, after 2 years of heavy fighting. A civil war fought mainly in the northern Ethiopia's region of Tigray that began when, after years of tension, the Tigray People's Liberation Front launched attacks on the Ethiopian National Defense Force. Hundreds of thousands of people died before a peace agreement was signed in November 2022. Today, rural areas remain heavily contaminated by unexploded ordnance. The ICRC with Ethiopian Red Cross say weapon contamination poses severe risk for civilians, especially children. Joining us from the International Committee of the Red Cross is Aliona Sineko. Aliona, welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. Can you please give us more or less an estimate of the number of casualties because of this ordnance?
Well, it is very difficult for me to give you an estimate of the number of casualties, which is also in itself part of the problem. In our physical rehabilitation centers last year and this year, we treated almost 400 patients that were victims of this unexploded ordnance. But this is just the tip of the iceberg, because we only get a fraction of people who actually become casualties of these devices because they need to meet certain criteria. In these centers, we help them find mobility devices and learn to walk with these devices. But many people, they actually die, or they just have different type of injuries. So the people that we have treated is just a small fraction. But what is extremely concerning is that among these people, 80% are children.
So what kind of injuries are we talking about?
Well, we see a lot of lower limbs and also a lot of upper limbs injuries, and sometimes the combination of all of those, and that what makes physical rehabilitation for these people so extremely difficult. When I was in Tigray just a couple of weeks ago, I met a 17-year-old boy who he took one of these unexploded devices from a group of children that were playing with it, and it exploded in his arm, and now he lost fingers on both of his hands, he lost a leg, and it was extremely hard for us to help him find some mobility, because when he cannot use the crutches, he cannot hold on to anything. And even now that he can walk again, but still it's very difficult for him to find employment. So the needs for these people are huge.
So, Aliona, what kind of support can we give them?
So we've been working to raise awareness among the communities to try to promote safe behavior and help the victims of these devices. But it's not enough, because just to be able to eliminate this problem, these devices, they need to be cleared. And we've been trying to advocate with the authorities and also with the international bodies that places like Ethiopia should not be forgotten. Of course, today there are many priorities, a lot of things happening internationally, but if we don't put the necessary resources and also the political will to clear these areas, we will just continue having injured kids on and on and on.
And also, this dangerous environment enhances food insecurity in the region.
This problem affects every single area of life. People, they need to move around to fetch water. They need to be able to walk their farmland. They need to have to go to market. And when you have these piles and piles of dangerous unexploded ordnance lying around, it just paralyzes everything that you are trying to do in a region that is trying to find economic recovery after a long and very difficult armed conflict.